Okay, for this one, I'm going to show you what a lot of you guys did. I think most of you remembered that in order to get a fraction into scientific notation, you've kind of got to go through the middle step of getting it into a decimal before you get into scientific notation. But this is where the wheels sort of fell off for a lot of you. I can't tell you how many people I saw do this. You set up a division house and you put the first number on the outside. Okay? We've gone over and over and over that, and I've told you to think about them running a race. I even talked about like the Krispy Kreme challenge because that's a fun race to think about, right? The first number crosses the finish line first, makes it inside the house. The last number gets stuck outside. I mean, that's just a little easy way to think about it, okay? But what I want to draw your attention to is this. This is what really concerned me. I saw several of you do this. You actually divided 4 on the outside into 500 and you got 125. Okay, I want you to stop and I want you to look at this, guys. Okay? This right here is a really, really small fraction. Okay? Think about like a crowd of 500 people and 4 of them have, I don't know, blue eyes. All right? That's a teeny, 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 tiny fraction, right? How in the ham sandwich are you dividing 4 by 500, this teeny, teeny, tiny fraction, and getting a whole number of 125? That makes absolutely no sense. So if that was on your paper, you just had stopped and been like, wait, that can't be right. I'm supposed to get a teeny, teeny, tiny decimal. I'm not supposed to get a 3-digit whole number. All right, so let's use, some kind of math sense here. All right, so if you had gone this route with a division house, you would have put the first number inside the house, the last number gets stuck outside, which means that you would have needed to put a 0. Well, 500 doesn't go into 40. You would have needed to put another 0. Well, 500 doesn't go into 400. You would have needed a third 0, and now we're in business because 500 goes into 4,000 8 times. Now, what I always say is it's a whole lot simpler to just think of it in terms of fractions because we want a decimal, which is in terms of tenths. Well, 500 doesn't go into 10. Or hundredths. 5 doesn't go into 100. Or thousandths. Well, 500 does go into 1,000 twice. And so if you multiply by 2, you get 8 thousandths, which is exactly what you would have gotten the other way. 8 thousandths is 0.008. So at this point, we've got our decimal. No pun intended at this point, decimal point. You're going to put it into scientific notation. We know that scientific notation, the number has to be between 1 and 10. So we need to move this decimal not once, not twice, but 3 times. So we're going to have 8 times 10. Our exponent is going to be a 3, but it can't be this. A positive exponent is a big number. That would be 8,000. So obviously we need an exponent that goes in front of the 3. So I want you to make sure that you write that in your corrections. Okay, coming down here, we had some negative exponents and we had some division and all sorts of stuff. So the first thing that should have kind of jumped off the page at you is if you have the exact same base and exponent on the top and the bottom, they cancel out, right? Anything divided by itself cancels out. So there were no h's left. Now we can't do that with the c's because this is a positive 3 exponent and this is a negative, but we can make this dude happy by moving him up to the top. So we now have the c to the third that was already up there, and now we have another c to the third from the bottom because he's moved up to the top. And then we have 3/9. This is a fraction. We know what to do with fractions. We can simplify them. 3/9 simplifies to 1/3, right? the numerator is smaller than the denominator. So we're not going to get a whole number of 3. We're going to get a fraction of 1/3. Okay, and at this point, the only thing left to really do is to use our exponent rules here. We have c to the third times c to the third. So I want you to clean that up for me for your final answer.